All right, Chris, we got another preview here in the ACC. The Pittsburgh Panthers, Chris. A big season ahead for Pitt in 2026. I'll go ahead and let you start off, Chris. What are you looking at from the Pittsburgh Panthers this year? They got sophomore Mason Heinschel. He's back for the
Yeah.
Panthers this season. Had a great year, great rookie season last year. Now as a sophomore, looking to build upon everything that he learned in his rookie's year with the
hmm
Panthers, and looking to apply that for what a lot of Pittsburgh fans are hoping to be a pretty big season in the ACC. So, what are we looking at right now? What are you hoping for the Pittsburgh Panthers in 2026?
Yeah. No, I want to see if Mason can take another leap. He flashed talent. He's a good straight line runner. Has good size, has some speed to him as well. So he's someone that is definitely wet behind the ears. You see the talent, and he um he can make good throws, but he also has to clean up some of his decision making. So if he can continue to level up, polish his game, he has the skill set to be very successful. And I think it's one of the more underrated players um, in college football. It's kind of, he's growing to become more known, but he has potential to really break out this year. And if he does, Pitt has the potential to play with the best of the league. I mean, they've been right there, Kory. 6-2 in conference play last season. It's not like Pitt is a bad team. This is a team that's right there, getting your 7, 8, 9 wins. And I know this staff definitely believes in Mason and think he can. He and the guys can potentially level up and take Pitt to that next step where this program wants to go.
I agree with you, Chris. Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that he learned in his first season with the Panthers, and we saw a lot of those rookie mistakes that a lot of quarterbacks make as soon as they get into college. They take what they learned from in high school, and they try to apply that the best way as possible. But you always see a lot of coaches, quarterback coaches, try to through those years, teach those intangibles. And you could see that. You see he had the potential. He definitely has the potential to be one of the great quarterbacks in the ACC and in college football. But you also saw a little bit of those rookie mistakes. A lot of probably a little flat footness out there. Holding on to the ball a little bit too long at times, and making a couple of errors here and there. But overall, I like what I see from Mason Heinschel. I think Pitt has a really good quarterback, a really good leader that's only going to grow as long as he wants to stay there for the Panthers. So, yeah, man, I'm interested to see what happens this season in 2026 in terms of all of the talent that Pat Narduzzi has brought in, and Pat Narduzzi has been, heck of a coach, pretty much everywhere he's been at, and he's been, you know, since he's taken over this Pitt team, he's definitely brought in some really good talent, and they've punched well above their weight class. I think since
hmm
he's been there, especially last year, him bringing in more talent this year is only going to help. We'll see what happens with some of these guys that are coming in to the program. You got Marcus Jennings from Cass Tech, a highly thought of school out there in the Detroit area, Chris.
Yeah, yeah.
Going to be playing in that linebacker position, so we'll see what happens with Jennings if he gets some good playing time in. Rodney Dunbar from
hmm
Thomas County Central, 6'5", 180, wide receiver. Love big body receivers, Chris. We've seen them, you know,
Yeah.
enter in their college years and what they can do. I have high hopes for a guy like Rodney Dunbar as well. I'm looking at a couple of guys, like Alex Sanford Jr. Mainly some of these guys that come from Power Four programs. Alex Sanford Jr. came from Purdue, plays the linebacker position. And we already know about Braylon Lovelace, number
Yeah.
0 for the Panthers. He plays linebacker as well. So you're looking at that depth that Pat
Hmm.
Narduzzi is trying to bring in. If he can bring in good quality guys to help with Lovelace out there in the linebacker position, help with that defense overall, I think the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
So, I
And they're looking good up front with Bear
yeah,
as well.
exactly. Ryan Bayer, right tackle for the Panthers. I think this is last year um for the Panthers. So, he's trying to go out um for this his last season with a bang. So, you bring a guy like him back into the fray, and then you have a ton of other guys as well. Keelan Davis came from Akron. He's going to be on the offensive line as well. Probably more
Hmm.
in interior alongside with Bayer and company. So what we're seeing a lot of depth pieces. Carson Kent came from Oklahoma, plays tight end.
Hmm.
Maybe he can bring some talent in. 6'4", big body, tight end. Maybe it has a little finesse. We'll see what happens. See if
I'm sure
maybe
with
he's
that
got enough
frame,
business.
he'll know how to block as well.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. To Narduzzi's credit, you're gonna learn all of that for
Yeah,
Pitt.
you definitely are. You won't be on the field if you can't run block. That's
Exactly.
whether it's on the O line, tight end, or receiver.
Hmm. So yeah, that's it's gonna be interesting, man. You have Jeremiah Warren, defensive lineman, coming from Illinois, 6'3", 310. Um, Rylan Strader, cornerback, came from Auburn. He's in the program as well. So a lot of players, Chris, that are going to be a part of this team. I really want to see can all of these depth pieces, all of this new talent work in the favor for Pittsburgh this season because man, they're we had just talked about North Carolina and how difficult their season is. In
Yeah.
terms of Pitt, not so much outside of a few games.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, Chris. Looking at the schedule, we'll talk about it real quick. I think it's very manageable with what they have coming back. Guys they brought in. I think if they can get these guys on board, get these guys focused, I think Pat
Hmm.
Narduzzi and company are going to have a heck of a season potentially in the ACC. So, what are your thoughts about this schedule overall?
It's you're not afraid when you see it. Of course, you play Miami,
Hmm.
and that will be difficult. Um, but outside of that, you feel like you can play with anybody else on your schedule. So, not to say that Pitt's going to go out here and go 11-1 in the regular season, but if that does happen, it ain't the craziest outcome. Like this is a team like where everybody on their schedule is pretty much on their level, and it's going to be up to Pitt if they bring it all together on those Saturdays to get the win, and we'll see what kind of season they have. But they are lined up to potentially, break some doors, kick down some windows, and maybe even make an entrance to the playoff.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely think it's possible. 12-team playoff. Hey, if you can handle a good portion of the schedule and be competitive, I think by playoff time you can make a case, be known that hey, you could be right in this thing in the top 12, or right on the outside looking in, waiting for someone to drop the ball. for your name to be mentioned in that top 12 in that top 12 playoff conversation come that time. So yeah, man. Yeah, October 24th, we know at Miami, that's gonna be a difficult game. We'll see what happens, but yeah, you got games October the 31st at home against Georgia Tech. Um, you have the
That's a
Florida
big
State
game.
game. Yeah, yeah, that's
You know,
definitely a big
Georgia
game.
Tech definitely probably a little salty about how things played out against Pitt.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure they are. That's gonna be a game we're gonna have to
Miami salty
circle.
too about Pitt as well.
Hmm. I know. And when you think about it, Chris, like we can't forget Pitt was on the cusp. Had they beat Notre Dame last season, we could have been talking about Pitt getting the opportunity of being in the playoffs. Like
Yeah.
they were riding high last season, up until
Mhm.
that game.
Mhm. Mhm. No, definitely, definitely. Yeah. So there's some unfinished business this season for the Panthers. Getting a little bit of a taste. You know, they went to Sam's Club. You know how back in the day you go in Sam's Club, they give you a little sampler.
Oh, they still do. Don't worry.
Oh man, but yeah, so you don't want just a sample. You want to sit down. You want to go home and whip up the whole meal.
There you
You
go.
know what I'm saying? You want to get the full experience.
That's right. That's right. You look what on the movie Dodgeball? Ben Stiller. I want a piece of you. I want the whole
The whole
thing.
thing. Pitt wants the whole thing, and it's
Exactly.
it's hey, it's a possibility they could get the whole thing this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, the sky's the limit for this team. I like the guys that they are bringing back. I like what Mason Heinchel brings to the table. I know you do as well. We've been talking about it, and yeah, man, I think they got a good nucleus of guys that are winners, and I think if they can all put it together this season, I'm telling you, Chris, I think watch out for Pitt. I think they can be
Yes,
dangerous.
yeah, no, definitely, definitely. They are a team to look out for.
Yeah, absolutely.